Hello, welcome back to Space Engineers. In today's video, we're looking at another very unique ship, where this one is a glorified space fire engine, and is called the Vanguard Thermal Response Unit, which is this lovely thing that I'm currently standing on top of. So like I said, it's a space fire engine, where at the front we've got a fake hose that'll spin around and lift up and down thanks to a rotor and a hinge. On the front of it we've got a connector, but you could always replace it with a exhaust block if you did want to pretend to shoot out water, but otherwise it is just there to, well, be decorative piece. Then at the very back of this thing, what we've got is a ladder system, which will fold up and around, much like the very front, but it's a functional ladder that we can climb all the way up. So grabbing hold of the correct character, here he is. What I can do now is bring up the HUD, press number 1, press number 4. What I can do now is actually lift up and down the ladders with the camera and moving away so it's not completely wonky. That'll do quite nicely. Taking him back over, and now moving the mouse around, what I can do is lift this all the way up, spin it around, get into the position that I need it to be in. Then once I'm happy, I can press number 5, and the ladder's going to fold all the way out, allow you to climb all the way up, get into the burning building, and of course help extract people out. And of course, if you want to stop it from moving up and down, you press number 2, and there we are. We still swing it around, but cannot move it up and down, so it's now nice and stable to climb all the way up. And that's how it works. Of course, I press number 2, press number 5, that falls all the way back down, and then I can simply press a master toggle number 9, and it'll just automatically spin all the way back around and put it back into its standby position, where once it's in that position, I press number 1 to firmly lock it in place. So you don't have to get back to how it was before you need to drive off and go off on your next adventure. While that's doing that, I'm now going to come out of this. There we go. Now come back into that other character, wherever he has gone. There we are. Now I'm going to move the camera all the way away. Press F10, and find it in the spawn menu. So the Vanguard Thermal Response Unit is 1,658 small blocks, using one hell of a lot of the DLC packs. We see up to here that it requires no mods. It's survival ready-ish, but of course it uses subgrids, which will make it a problem to actually spawn in via a projector. And there's its PCU and block count. Moving all the way down to here, we can see the blurb about it, and of course its features. So simply give this a thumbs up, move around towards the very front, have a look around the outside, go through all the other controls, then we'll just fly around for a bit, and then that'll be that. So at the very front here, this is what we get for the Vanguard Thermal Response Unit, and that is 2 cab cockpits to drive it around, and they both share the exact same controls, so it does not matter which seat you get into if you want to actually fly this thing around and control the hose at the front. We also see a custom weapon controller in the middle, which is going to be for that hose to spin it all the way around and make it all semi-functional. And of course we've got a bunch of lights, we've got floodlights, we've got regular spotlights, and then 2 hydrogen thrusters to push you around. Moving down to here past these other floodlights, they've got a bunch of amp-soaked thrusters. They move around onto the side, we then got our flat amp-soaked thrusters that neatly builds into the design of the ship. Anyway, on the side here we see a barrel right next to our fake hose, which is what we're going to pretend to hold water inside. There's your hydrogen engine for a bit of power. Move across to here, allow it to be able to get up and on top of this thing. There's a gyroscope to help move it around. There's a side seat for your crew member to sit on, with one on the opposite side. Some more hydrogen thrusters, more floodlights, there's a little battery, some more tanks for some decoration, but of course you can always use it to store a few bits and bobs inside if you want to do that. More amp-soaked thrusters, more hydrogen thrusters, railings along the top made out of some neon tubes. Then towards the back there, another battery, some nice use of the letter blocks. Then towards the very back of this thing, some more flat amp-soaked thrusters, a connector to dock it up, more hydrogen thrusters, and a rear camera to help move this thing around. Now that character is just floating there, so let's try and get rid of him. There we can now sit into there. And there we are. Moving up slightly more past that camera, here we are at the very top. So there's our little railing going all the way around. That's where you stand on the helm to actually control the ladder at the back here. The ladder's been made out of some truss blocks, some hinges, and of course the ladder blocks on the top and the bottom. Moving all the way across. There's your custom weapon control to actually move it around. There's the hinge, there's the rotor, more gyroscopes. Oh, here's a hydrogen tank. Now onto this section, there's a grammar block to make it all function how it does. Move up and look down this thing where I'm standing, and the ladder, which is a bit wonky, and there we are. And of course on the opposite side is going to be exactly what we just saw. So over here, batteries, tanks, amp-soaked thrusters, and there's a spare seat. Anyway, moving all the way down underneath this thing, here we go, turning on my lights, starting at the front. So we see a bunch of amp-soaked thrusters help slow us down. We see the bottom of our ladders as well as a bunch of red steel blocks. Across here, a magnetic plate with some hand skin right next to it, as well as more great use of the window blocks and truss blocks. Across here is the start of the hydrogen thrusters. We've got 3 small ones, 1 large one, and then some beam blocks just covering them up, as well as supporting the 2 batteries on both sides. Across here, flat amp-soaked thrusters, small hydrogen thrusters. Towards the back, there's another battery. Then we've got some more beam blocks, another magnetic plate, and of course some more hydrogen thrusters. And with that, that's a brief look around the outside of the Vanguard thermal response unit. It looks bloody fantastic, it has been subbed. Haven't seen anything else like this on the Steam Workshop page before, and it's quite novel having a space fire engine to fly around, and of course you can fly around on a planet, which is where it's going to be mainly because getting a fire in space is going to be a little bit odd to do. Nevertheless, grabbing hold of the character which is spare, which I believe is going to be not that one, not that one, not this one, putting him on the seat on the side, so not this side, down onto here. Now you just grab hold of the other character which is sitting in one of these seats. So here we are, we now look across, see into the other cab, look up and around, and there we are. And of course in the third person view, we see exactly what's going on with the ladder and the back there. But yes, for the controls on this side, we've got some atmospheric thrusters, turn them on and off all around the ship, as well as a master toggle for your hydrogen thrusters around the ship, so you turn them on and off if you need them. We've got number 3, number 4 for your magnet plates to lock and unlock them. You've got your top mount camera and the back there to help burst this thing up. Coming out of that and pressing number 6 if you're connected at the back there to lock and unlock it. Then you've got your custom weapon controller on the top here, which is going to be for your hose. So taking over that by pressing number 7, realign the camera once again, and now we can just spin this around, lift it up and down, and tend to soak the area. And we're going to put that back to how it was, pop out of that, realign this, and then we press number 8, which is going to be to turn on off the lights all around the vehicle. And then number 9 is your siren system, where you press the sound block and there we are. So we get the light spinning around at the front there, we get a sort of sirenish like sound coming off it, and that's how that works. Pressing number 9 again, coming to tab number 2, then you've got your hydrogen engines on and off, batteries auto recharge, hydrogen tanks to stockpile on and off, oxygen tanks to turn on and off, your radar dish on and off, and then finally your projector to project the entire ship in case you do take damage and need to repair it up. On to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, we've got nothing else, so now it's time to drive this thing around. So moving forwards, here we go in space, this is what we get, and while it's not the fastest thing in the world, we don't have to be with this type of vehicle, we are just going to be a response vehicle where we need to drive responsibly. Come to a stop, that's what we get, feels about the same as moving forwards, but will take some time to actually come to a stop. Moving left, and move right, some surprisingly good speed with that, feels a little bit better than moving forwards and backwards. Moving down, and then moving up as fastest thing out of everything that's to be expected, because we can fly on any planet. Then for gyroscope controls, moving it around, there we are, so we've got plenty of control over this thing, so actually putting it into the correct position, I'm not too sure why the ladder's gone up, let's go and fix that up. So trying that one more time, now the ladder's been fixed down, spinning around, and there we are, so we've got plenty of control over this, and like I was saying, it's fantastic for actually moving in position to actually get that ladder in the correct position, in case you don't want to lift it up and down because you're in a dodgy area, or the person controlling the ladder is not too great actually getting in the right position. But now what we can do now is bring it down to a planet, the Earth-like planet. Don't think that will do, that's the tropical planet, although that will do at the end of the day because it is the same gravity. So once again, moving down because this is always a fantastic check to do, letting go, and there we are. So we're not going to be able to slam this thing into the ground accidentally. If we are moving down at high speeds, it will stop very, very quickly, which is a jolly good thing. And of course, moving around could be a lot faster, now assisted by the atmospheric thrusters. So boost this thing around on a planet is going to be fantastic, especially if you're trying to hurriedly go to a burning wreckage. As for that, that's pretty much it for the chip. All it has to offer, what you can do with it, it's just a fun little thing to deploy down onto the ground. I'm hoping you're going to be able to do this without crashing it into the ice. Here we go, tilting it backwards. Down we come. We're just going to pretend that there is a fire back there, so we now just put this down, take over this, spin it around, pretend we're shooting water. Now that, take over the guy at the back, lifting up the ladder. So here we go, did have to fiddle with the settings because it did bug out a little bit. So up goes the ladder, round it goes, and now I can just try and get that into position. It is going to get a little bit wonky because I did fiddle with the wrong things, but you get the idea. I can now put that up to a building, hop out of this, grab hold of the ladder, and well, up I go. It's going to be a little bit wonky, but it should be fine. There we are, just go and grab onto the other one, made no difference at all, and now we just pretend to go up and into the building. As for that, that's pretty much it for this vehicle, all it has to offer, what you can do with it. So if you're interested in playing around with yourself, there will be a link to it in the description below. Highly recommend checking it out because it is a fun little vehicle to play around with, especially if you want to roleplay with it on, say, like an RP server. That's entirely up to you if you do that. But no, there will be a link to it in the description below, along with the link to Skybox I'm currently using, as well as a link to this tropical planet that I'm on. I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.